so many of these people reaching out to you, I feel speaks to one of the issues, which is there's a lot of bias in regard to how we look at mental health. And some people may argue, Harry, you've got it all going for you, right? You have friends, you're a star linebacker, you have legions of fans, you have a supportive family. How can this impact you? And I want to ask you, what do you say to that? Because obviously depression, anxiety, mental health, it's not.
Yeah. No, I think it's, I was talking with my parents the other day. A lot of people were talking about like breaking the stigma. I'm like, I don't even really understand why there is a stigma. I mean, this is literally a matter of life and death. It's not, it literally is. It's not, some joking aside. It's not a phase.
And that's another just thing that we need to break, I feel like, too, asking for help. And you did that, and you're talking about that.
Yeah, I remember having this sort of realization when I was talking with my sports psychologist. We were talking about the concepts of say like toughness, for example, and I was just saying, like, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be receiving this stimulus that's hurting me, and as a result, I become this hardened, angry person, or person who even wants to go as far as not existing anymore. And I told her, it's like when you go to a steak shop or a steakhouse, you don't want to order a tough steak. You want to order something that's tender and something that gives, right? And I don't want to be this tough, mean, angry person. I want to be something that's tender, and that's something that's enjoyable. And I think that's just the hard part, is that there are so many stressors and ideas that are pointing at just become tough and ignore people and stop talking to people and stop loving people. And I think the tough thing to do is to be resiliently tender, if you will, and to maintain your love and your softness in a way to where you can still connect with people. And
topic your mother wrote when your mother responded to your story, and your mother wrote, "As a surgical technologist, I've scrubbed in the operating room for over 30 years. I'm used to seeing a problem and fixing a problem. Depression doesn't work that way." And that's the thing. It's so nuanced and it's so different for everyone too. But again, we dance around, or we don't really know how to talk about it. And one other thing, really, for me personally, I remember somebody said to me one time, and it really hit home. They said, depression feels like you're homesick when you're home. And that was their lived experience. But that really helped me kind of not feel crazy. And I just wanted to ask you if you talk about that a little bit more, Harry, about this kind of lack of vocabulary maybe, and this lack of kind of how we can express this and talk about this.
Absolutely. I remember just the idea of being homesick when you're home. I just remember reflecting, and I was like, I was sad, and I had just come back from hanging out with my best friends, and I was sad, and I was like, it would make sense if I was sad and something sad just happened. But I was just with my best friends, and I'm still sad. So now what am I supposed to do? And, I read a bunch looking for answers. I read, the Bible, and I read the Upanishads and the Dhammapada, and, Buddhism and Taoism and every bit of philosophy you could find. And the trouble was they kept talking about how great death was and how much peace there was. And I was just thinking, well, let's cut to the chase then, because I'm tired of reading about it. I'm tired of getting the cool sales pitch and the really nice advertising. I'm like, let's just do it. Let's pack the bags and book a ticket. And of course I learn it, and it's just so hard because, like you said, the vocabulary, the word I described to my friends, I was like, and this might be a super fluffy, weird, artistic way of describing it, but my words just feel like these like little birds, and like right when they leave my mouth, they just get swatted out by this really strong wind, and they just never land, and they never reveal how I truly feel, and they always minimize my thoughts and my true feelings. And it's like whenever I try to speak, I ask myself, what is the truest thing I can say? And I found that sometimes the way it was perfectly encapsulated was just I am sad, or I hurt. It was just those simple telegraph sentences that were just 2 words long, perfectly encapsulated how I felt. But again, we've gotten so used to wanting a 5-page evidence citation to prove why this is the way it is, and we want it to be peer reviewed, but there's no peer review for depression. There's no peer review for sadness. It's just how do we fix it? Is we say it, and I guess I remember I just pictured as like, I felt like there was this big boogeyman in the corner of my room, and I felt like this little kid, and it was making me feel so powerless. And when I spoke, I felt like I turned on the lights, and it just became this pile of laundry, and it became so small. I could pick up my boogeyman and sort of laugh at it. And the words are so limiting, but I think like with the people you love and with the people who really care, the words don't even matter, and I don't know. It's just so hard because I think depression transcends words, but I think love also transcends words. And I think that's just the great gift of being a human, is that we have these such complex emotions to grapple with. And I feel like sometimes it's too big for my little half-pound brain. I don't know how much my brain weighs. I hope more than a half pound. And it just feels so heavy, the thoughts in my head. And if I could just put them out there. And I've had my mother or my girlfriend or my friends just carry those with me, and it just made it much more tolerable.